It is time now for our weekly artist spotlight, brought to you by the Gin right here in Tifton. And today it is very special because the artist performing at the Gin tonight is joining us on the show right now. You guys have been so excited about it. There has been so much hype over Facebook. Chase Rice is joining us right now. Chase, how are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out. I know you are so busy with your tour. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us.
I appreciate you having me on here.
Yes. So, Chase, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
What? How much time you have? No, I'm a kid. I grew up in Daytona Beach, Florida, then moved to North Carolina, and I don't know. I'm just a normal dude. I just somehow got caught doing this whole country music thing, and I'm having some success at it. So
yeah.
But I'm enjoying it. Yeah. So I live in Nashville now, but I don't really know where I call home now. I'm all over the place. So I guess right now I'll call home Georgia.
Yeah, that's great. So you started to play guitar, is this right? After an injury in college, you were a football player. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I played football at the University of North Carolina, and I got hurt. Things were going really well. I was looking forward to hopefully a career in the NFL, and it was headed that way. And all of a sudden, that just ended real quick. I got hurt, and so I was bored. Basically, started playing guitar and realized that I could, and then a little while after that, my dad passed away. So it was. For some reason, I was just good at writing songs. So I started writing songs, and people were liking what I was doing.
Yeah.
And here I am. Yeah, it's taken off since. I moved to Nashville, and long story short, so far it's working. So hopefully it'll keep going that way.
It definitely is working for you. I mean, wow, you've done so many amazing things in your life so far. And of course, I know for you, you said you kind of started writing because of your dad passing away. That was how it started for you. Tell us about songwriting for you, what that means to you.
I'm not one of those writers that goes in and, can just write about anything. I'm a pretty emotional guy, so I always write about whatever's going on with me at the time. So yeah, that's just what it is. I mean, I go in there and basically put who I am and what's going on with me on a piece of paper, and it comes out in a song. So that's all it is to me. I mean, to me, it's just who I am and whatever I'm going through. Most likely someone else is going through it too. So that's why I think songwriting's pretty cool.
It definitely is really cool. We have a fan question right now, if you don't mind. We have Taylor Bruce wanted to ask you, who were some of your musical influences when you were growing up?
What's up, Taylor? Garth Brooks was my biggest one. Mm-hmm. I saw him live when I was younger, and I was hooked after that. He's all over the place on stage and just crazy up there. So Garth is definitely my biggest one, but yeah, that would definitely be the biggest, I'd say. But I love the younger guys. The guys like Eric Church. I think Eric Church has done an awesome job doing what he's doing, and hopefully I can follow in guys like those footsteps.
Yeah, and you definitely have. Speaking of songwriting, we can't do this interview without talking about Cruise. You got to tell us, did you know when you were writing that song that it was going to be the humongous hit that it is right now?
No, not at all. Brian, when we were writing it, Brian from Florida Georgia Line was kind of jumped up, and he was so excited about it and said, "This is awesome, man." And so they ended up cutting it instead of me, which was awesome because they had more going on for him at the time, and still do. But yeah, I don't think any of us that day realized. Even when they told us that was going to be Florida Georgia Line's first single, I was like, "Dang, man! First singles normally don't do very well, so I wish it'd be their second." And well, I'm very, very glad it was their first one because it's taken their career to the next level, and it's made me a happy man.
I'm sure it has. I mean, the amazing things that it's done. You mentioned it is their first single. In your opinion, so a lot of people say it's the song. It's the song that can make that difference. Do you agree?
Absolutely. It's all about the songs. I don't think they wouldn't have a number one as their first single unless it was that song. And I'm not saying that because I wrote on it. I'm saying that because it's just that kind of song. It's a game changer. It's one of the songs that only comes along, once every 4 or 5 years that can do that for a first act. And Chicken Fried, it was Chicken Fried. It happened with Zach Brown Band and Chicken Fried, and it's kind of the same thing with Florida Georgia Line and Cruise. It's that big of a song to where it doesn't matter who sings it, it's going to go.
Yeah. And can you tell us, how did you first was it just moving to Nashville? Is that how you got in contact with all these other musicians as well?
Brian and I from Florida Georgia Line actually grew up together. We grew up since we were little kids down in Florida, so I moved to town and just moved into the house with him, and we started writing together. And at that time, it's not like I moved in with some well-known guys. We were just the young crew trying to come up and just trying to get in the rooms with those big writers. And now a lot of people are trying to get in rooms with us and trying to write with us, which I think is crazy. It's only been 2 years, but right. Yeah, it's really cool to see how fast we've all come along.
Right. And a really exciting thing for you, too, Dirt Road Communion, which is your first full-length project. It debuted number 6 on iTunes. Tell us how that felt for you.
Yeah, that was awesome. It's at that time, a lot hadn't picked up with me. It was just, I was releasing that, just kind of seeing what happened. And it went all the way up to number 6, and I was like, what the heck's going on here? I didn't expect that. I just wanted to get in the top 20. But it was really cool to see, people responding to that and buying that album. That was really encouraging to me, and it's really, really taken off here in the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months, I'm sorry. But it's really cool to see how that album's grown and people are loving it.
So tell us, to you, what is more fun? Do you really enjoy more of the songwriting aspect and, playing instruments, or do you love the being on stage, being an entertainer?
I think it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a chill mood and I'm wanting to kick back and, relax for a while, it's definitely the songwriting. I'd love to sit back and write as many songs as I can. And plus I'd get to sleep in my own bed every night. But, if I'm in a rowdy mood and I'm ready to go party, there's nothing better than being on stage, in front of a bunch of people. You really can't beat that. So they're both pretty awesome. But, yeah, it's, like I said, it just depends on what kind of day it is for me.
So we talked about Cruise, about songwriting. How does songwriting work for you? Do you have a certain process? I know you said you write from what you experience, but how do you actually write a song?
Well, this is all different ways. That one we were writing Cruise, we were writing another song, and that one just kind of happened. It took us about 30 minutes to write, and we had no hook for it. We had no idea for it. We just started it, and it just happened. And that's pretty funny that's how our biggest song so far as writers came about. But yeah, a lot of times people go in with ideas and going with a melody or a title or a hook, and you go off of that. But that day we kind of fell into we kind of made a mistake and wrote a number 1 song that day. It was pretty awesome. Do
you ever have weird times? I've interviewed other artists and they say, waking up at night and sleeping, or sometimes in the shower, song ideas come to you. Does that ever happen in weird moments?
Yeah, it happens with me a lot at night too. I think it's because your mind's clear, you're not thinking about anything, and all of a sudden you wake up in the middle of the night and you got something in your head. So I always put it into my phone. There's been a couple where I was like, no, I'll remember the next day, and then you wake up and you have no idea what it was.
Oh,
so that's pretty frustrating. But yeah, that's the same for me at night. It's really weird.
I've noticed on roughstock.com, I believe it was, 2013 it just started, but it's already looking like a big year for you. They named you one of the 13 for 13 to watch this year. Tell us how that meant.
Well, that was really cool. I was the only artist on there that doesn't have a label, and that's an honor for me to be on the list of awesome, artists and writers like that. But in the end, that stuff really, it's great to be on there, but that's not what's going to make me have a great year. What's going to make me have a great year is, continuing to do what I do, go out and tour, make sure that the fans get to hear the music, and then I keep writing stuff that, that they want to hear, and that it's what I'm all about, because that's really all that really matters to me right now, is just making sure that I'm giving, the fans exactly what they want to hear and giving them a piece of me, because that's when it's true, So as long as people keep showing up to shows, I'll be happy, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
Right, yeah. And you do, like I mentioned, just here in Tifton, your songs get requested every day, and it's not the same ones. I know How She Rolls is a big song for you right now, Dirt Road Communion, but we even get, my personal favorite of yours is Girls of the SEC. I love that song, because I'm a dog fan. but yeah, it seems like you're doing the right things. Yeah,
it's just, that's awesome that the people down there wanting to hear my stuff, but It's for some reason it just works for me. For whatever reason, it's not doesn't come easy to me because I'm killing. I'm working as hard as I possibly can to make sure that this thing goes the way I want it to. But it does come a little bit natural to me to just write about what, because I don't know. I just don't have the mindset of what does someone in Nashville want to hear? What does a record label want to hear? I don't care about that. I want to know what the people in small towns want to hear because that's the way I grew up. So I really don't care what people, want to hear on the radio and want to hear whatever. I just want to know what people that come to shows and that are ready to rock out and have a good time want to hear.
Yeah, and speaking of rocking out at shows, you're going to be rocking out in Tifton tonight, which is really exciting. Can you tell people what should they expect when they come to see a Chase Rice show like the one tonight at the Gin?
A huge party. I slow it down very little. I like the high energy, and it's by the end of the show, I'm going to be extremely tired because I'm going to be all over the place and making sure that everybody's having an awesome time. So the 2 words: huge party. If you want to party, come on out to the Gin, and we'll get down. I promise.
That sounds fun. And I believe that show is going to start, I think, around 10. I talked to JD earlier, so it's going to be a great show. I know they always do a great job at the Gin, and I'm sure it's an honor for them to get to have you there. Tell us, Chase, what is coming up next for you? I mean, what is your next adventure, I guess? Just continuing what you're doing?
Yeah, we're going to keep touring like crazy. I'm putting my team around me, getting management, and we're working on some record deal stuff, but that's not my main concern. My concern is just getting out there, playing the music for the fans, and making sure that they get to see me live and playing as many shows as I can do. And we're going to probably start pushing How She Rolls to radio and just see where it goes. The FGL boys did that with Cruise, and it worked. So we're going to do that with How She Rolls, and hopefully people will dig it.
And that's a great way to go into my next thing I was going to talk about. I was going to ask you about How She Rolls. Can you tell us about that song?
Yeah, I wrote that. That was actually a couple of nights before we went in to record for the last session on my Dirt Road Communion album. It wasn't written. It wasn't going on the record because it wasn't even written. But me and Brian Kelly from Florida Georgia Line, we were just sitting around the house. We lived together, and we were by ourselves just sitting around. I started playing the little guitar thing, and Brian started humming some melody, and about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, we had that song, and it's a really cool one. It's really fun live. People get their hands up, and the coolest thing to me is it's the girl in that song is a girl that I feel like every girl wants to be or is if they're and every guy wants her. Every guy wants that kind of girl, or he has her. It's just a really cool little paints a picture of a really hot, sexy girl, and nobody can hate that.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, guys, to check out Chase Rice tonight at the Gin. Also, Cole Taylor, one of our local artists, is going to be opening up for Chase, and that is happening tonight right here in Tifton at the Gin. It's located on Brumby Way. And tomorrow night, Chase, you're going to be in Valdosta performing too, right?
Yep. I'm hoping a bunch of people from the Gin on tonight will come on out to Valdosta too. Valdosta is going to be a fun one, I'm sure. I've never been that far south in Georgia, so we'll see what happens. But I'm expecting another party. That's
right. Well, can you tell us a way? I'm sure there's a lot of different ways with the internet today. How can people find out more information about you?
You can get it at chaserice.com. But I'm real active on Facebook and Twitter. My Facebook is just Chase Rice Music. My Twitter's Chase Rice Music. So check it out. Hit me up on there, and it's me that runs it all. So if you want to, if I'm responding to you, then it's actually from me. And actually, I was bored on the way down here today and started a Snapchat. It's pretty funny. It's entertaining. It's basically shutting down my phone. But if you want to send some weird pictures, go ahead. Send them on Snapchat. Chase Rice.
All right. Well, Chase, thank you so much. Really, it means so much to have you here on the show. And I want to wish you so much luck. I mean, you're doing everything right, and I can't wait to see where your career is going. So thank you so much. And we look forward to meeting you tonight at the Gin.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm ready to rock.
All right. Thank you so much. This has been our weekly Artist Spotlight brought to you by the Gin here in Tifton. And Chase, what do you say you introduce your song for us?
What's up, y'all? This is Chase Rice, and this is my song, How She Rolls.